go back to that point about John Terry and Ashley Cole. Would you have had them in that English defence?
Yeah, I think we've had this discussion before a few nights ago. Personally, I wouldn't have taken Ashley Cole. A lot of people still have him somewhat on a pedestal, but I'd look to his situation at Chelsea. You know, Didi said he came in for some high-profile games towards the end of the season, and he did play well. But the fact is that halfway during the season, Jose Mourinho actually brought him to the football club, and was one of his biggest fans, elected to leave him out of the team, and in his place play a right-footed defender out of position. Now that tells you something. Also, he's out of contract at Chelsea Football Club at the end of this season. Jose Mourinho's elected not to give him another contract, and he's doing that for a reason. So no, I wouldn't have taken Ashley Cole. I wouldn't have taken John Terry. People forget, John Terry retired himself from international football. It wasn't a personal agenda. Roy Hodgson picked him for the European 12s Championship ahead of Rio Ferdinand. He played him in the opening qualifying games against Moldova and Ukraine, and it was only then that John Terry made the decision to retire from international football. Yes, he was banned for 4 games after that by the FA, but I think it was his responsibility, if he wanted to be considered again, to approach the manager and make that initial step. He didn't, and I think Hodgson took the right decision.
We've been asking you to send in your questions for the panel to the hashtag #AskThePanel, and there's one here which is addressed to you, Eamon, from Richie O'Hara, and it says, "But Eamon, Terry and Cole were in South Africa 4 years ago when they were 4 years younger and were also clinically dispatched." Respond.
Well, I'll certainly respond. I mean, look at John Terry's performance for Chelsea. The first thing, he was bombed out of Chelsea, don't forget, by AVB. First thing Mourinho did, John Terry back, and he's had a magnificent season for Chelsea. In the Champions League, in the Premier League, he's a great leader. The alleged racism, I deplore completely, unqualified. It was right that what the FA did, they have to do that. But Hodgson, you know, you have to also, England have to win matches, and they have to have a leader. They have to have a captain. Yeah. And the second goal last night, and the goal Balotelli scored last Saturday, the winner, when he jumped over Cahill and bullied the England back four, he wouldn't have bullied John Terry. No way. And the goal last night, England would have been the winning goal last night for Suarez. 5 minutes from the end, wouldn't have happened if John Terry had been on the pitch. He'd have either pushed him forward and played Suarez offside, or dropped back and made sure. Because when Cahill is alongside Terry, Cahill is a much, much better player than when he's alongside Phil Jagielka. Yeah. So, managers, if you want something, if you see it, if you see the need, you go to the guy. Look, John, we need you. We want you back. He's 33 years of age, Terry, and he would have transformed any camp. The South African situation is South Africa. John Terry doesn't have a magic wand. Doesn't mean if you play John Terry you never lose a match. What it means is you improve that England back four that was there for this tournament. South Africa is irrelevant to that. John Terry didn't let England down in South Africa. He just was in a bad side. They got a hiding by Germany. John Terry doesn't have anything to prove. The partnership of Jagielka and Cahill has everything to prove.
I think it's a given that the partnership of Cahill and John Terry is the strongest one available. But like Diddy says, it's not for footballing reasons that he's not going. I think Hodgson would have lost credibility in the eyes of the players if he had gone cap in hand to Terry. And I don't think Terry at this moment in time is the type of individual who would have pulled that dressing room together. In fact, I think he could have fractured it.
But what's the evidence for that?
Well, there's no evidence.
Oh.
But just like there's no evidence that he would have pulled the dressing room together.
Well, there is actually, because at Chelsea,
it's not the Chelsea dressing room, this is the English dressing room.
Well, there's no evidence that he would have fractured. Where's the evidence that he would have fractured?
Well, it's just my opinion, but like I said, there's no evidence.
Is there any evidence for it? Yeah, but it's up to you to. It's the burden of proof is on you.
You've made the opposite argument.
If you say that John Terry is going to fracture the dressing room, the team spirit, then the evidence, the burden of proof is for you. Surely,
the players who played
I don't have to prove.
The players who played in the qualifying campaign would have been loyal together, and there would have been a togetherness about and a spirit amongst those players. You can make your argument about the two centre halves and Jagielka in particular about his limitations, but the fact is they were played together, and they saw England through that qualifying campaign. So to actually bring John Terry into the equation and stand Phil Jagielka down, I don't think that just has repercussions for Jagielka. Just let me finish that. Okay. I don't think that has repercussions for Jagielka. I think that has repercussions all around the dressing room.
The point I'll make to you is very simple. Lallana didn't play in the qualifying campaign. Lambert didn't play in the qualifying.
It's a totally different situation, different personalities. I'm talking about the personality you're bringing into a dressing room.
You have to deal with the hand. You play the hand you've got. He brought Lallana in late. Okay?
Not particularly. He played a couple of friendly games at Wembley, and I'm very much impressed.
Did he bring Lambert in late?
Same thing. He played a couple of friendlies, impressed off the back of a fantastic club season.
Did they fracture the dressing room spirit?
No, they're different personalities, Eamon.
So John Terry is a bigger personality or a lesser personality?
A different personality.
Do you think it would have helped if they'd had John Terry last night and on Saturday?
Yeah, I think he's the better player.
With
But I don't
Cahill.
think it was the right decision. I
Hold
still
on.
think it was the right decision to leave
Let's
him
take
at home.
baby steps. Do you think Cahill and Terry against Italy last week and against Uruguay
given.
last would have been better for England?
Given.
That's enough.
OK. We'll move on.